Alrighty, well, WrestleMania 33 is over, and it is very late. It was a very long show. It's just now 12:05 a.m., and I started watching at 7? Is that when I started? I think I started at 7, so it's been 5 hours. Overall, a great pay-per-view, but boy, did it leave me with a bad taste in my mouth. So let's just go through it. I'm not going to edit this video at all. So I don't know, the intro may have been chopped up, but it doesn't really matter. I'm too tired. I'm just going to record this and upload it. First of all, pre-show stuff, we had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which was fine. I'm not huge on Battle Royals generally. I liked how they got rid of... I'm also very hot, so I apologize for the shiny forehead. I like how Braun Strowman got rid of Big Show, so that continues that feud. And then it took basically everyone else, like all 20 other people, to push Braun Strowman over the ropes. And then Mojo Rawley won, which is great. I like Mojo Rawley. I like him a lot better now that Zack Ryder's gone. I like them separately, but together as the Hype Bros, I just think that's dumb. Then Neville and Austin Aries, or actually Neville and Austin Aries was the one match I did not see, and it was first. Neville won. That's as it should be. And I just realized what I'm looking at does not have the results. Well, I should remember all the results. I don't know why I'm worried about that. Then we've got... Oh, these are not in order at all. This is dumb. So I'm just going to go from the bottom up now. John Cena and Nikki Bella beat Miz and Maurice. We expected that. Then John Cena proposed to Nikki Bella. We expected that. No surprises there. That was fine. The match was okay. The highlight of the match was Miz, which is what the shame is. Because... And he deserved it because obviously the spotlight in the end was going to be John Cena and Nikki. So they let Miz have a bit of the spotlight in the match. And Miz did some great stuff in the match as far as like interacting with the crowd and stuff. Triple H and Seth Rollins. Oh, by the way, I didn't clarify this before we got started. I was very wrong on a lot of my predictions. However, my predictions were what I thought they were going to do, not what I wanted them to do. Most of the winners were who I wanted, not my predictions. So I left WrestleMania for the most part extremely excited. So obviously I got the Battle Royal wrong, but that's gonna there's so many options for that. That's not a big deal. I got Neville right. I got John Cena and Nikki right. That's about all I got right until the end. Seth Rollins beat Triple H. Got that wrong. That was a good match. That was a really good match. They did a fantastic job. There was a spot at the end that involved Stephanie being knocked onto a table, which is always nice. Chris Jericho lost to Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens is now our U.S. title champion. And I don't know what they're going to do with that, but like I said in my predictions video, I hope that maybe John Cena comes back after it. Maybe, who knows? I mean, I know Kevin and Chris still have their feud going on, but I think it'd be fun for someone else to go after Kevin Owens for right now. Let Chris Jericho lay low for a little bit. Then you've got the Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Mickie James, Natalya, Becky Lynch, Naomi match. Thankfully, my hometown girl Naomi won. That was a very spot fest match. A lot of crappy, really dumb spots in that match. Like, at one point, everybody had their moment is basically what it was. Natalya put, I think it was Carmella and Becky Lynch. I can't remember who it was, but Natalya put two people on top of each other and then did a sharpshooter on both of them. It was a double sharp. It was dumb looking. It was really dumb looking. But in the end, Naomi won. That's a good thing. So that prediction I got right. It was the right decision. Give the hometown crowd a winner for once, because they never give the hometown crowd the winner lately. Then we've got the other women's match, Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha, and Nia Jax. By the way, these are not in order at all. Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha, and Nia Jax. I was wrong. Bayley ended up winning. Bayley retained the title. It was nice. The highlight of the match, this was one of the highlights of the whole night, was when Nia Jax was eliminated. All three of the other women were teaming up on her, and this made Nia Jax look really, really good. It took all three of them dogpiling on top of Nia Jax to get the 3 count. It was really cute and fun. I liked that. Then you got Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin. Dean Ambrose won. Was not expecting that. I thought they'd be pushing Baron Corbin a little bit, but they didn't. That's okay. I can live with that. I mean, I like Dean Ambrose. He's a good champion. He's fine. I think Baron Corbin was the smarter choice, but I'm happy with Dean Ambrose. Then you got Gallows and Anderson versus Enzo and Cass and Sheamus and Cesaro. I had predicted that it would go to the Bullet Club, to Gallows and Anderson. I'm going to take my prediction and claim it as not a loss because the winners weren't expected. New Day comes out and says, in their wrestling gear, New Day comes out and says, we've just been informed that this match is now a fatal 4-way tag match. And then out come the Hardy Boys. And that was obviously the highlight of the night, seeing and it was broken Matt. Like they said, they referred to, they said, oh no, WrestleMania is broken. Like they were acknowledging that character. So that's good. So they won. Hardy Boys won, which was huge. Had I known that they were going to show up, I would have picked them. So I'm going to count that as a win prediction for me. AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon. This actually opened up the main show, and this match was way better than it had any right to be. Excuse me. It's been a long night. It was fantastic. Lots of good spots, lots of good wrestling from both of them. I was really impressed with Shane. It was nice to see Shane in a not cage match or not ladder match or not whatever match. Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt. Randy Orton won. I wholeheartedly disagree with that decision. I think this is the only outcome that I completely disagree with. I mean, I guess they're going to do something where Bray gets into Randy's head, but I think Randy's hot right now. Or sorry, Bray is really hot right now. Let him be the champion a little bit longer. Don't make him lose to Randy Orton, who's at the end of his years. I don't know. I just did not like that outcome. It's fine. Maybe it'll turn. It could very easily turn into something good, so I'm optimistic. Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. Proof that a match doesn't have to be super technical or super long to be super good. I was wrong. Very wrong. The match ended up being almost 5 minutes. Almost as long as The Undertaker's entrance. And this was a match of two behemoths who know each other very well. Brock comes out firing on all cylinders. 3 German suplexes. He gets up, does his roar. And as he turns around, Goldberg is already standing on his feet, coming at him with a spear. And Goldberg hits him with a couple of spears. Goldberg goes for a jackhammer. Brock Lesnar reverses it into an F5. Goldberg gets out of it and spears him. Then he spears him again into the... They end up on the floor. And Goldberg spears him into the barricade. And I think that was a harder hit than they were expecting. They both seemed a little slow to get up from that. And something just got in my mouth. I don't know if that was a bug or what. It's a long night. I'm ready to go to bed. And so they get back in the ring. Goldberg goes for another spear, and Brock Lesnar jumps over the spear. It was really cool. Brock Lesnar proceeds to German suplex Goldberg 7 more times, a total of 10 German suplexes. I think Goldberg might have had a little bit of offense after that, but ultimately Brock Lesnar gives him the F5 and Goldberg loses. So Brock Lesnar is now our Universal Champion, which I'm perfectly happy with. I think that it's a good thing. It means we'll see more Brock, hopefully. I hope that's not the end of Goldberg. Like, hopefully that's not all there is. You know what I mean? Then we come down to the final match. Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. I was right in my prediction. I'm not surprised that Roman Reigns won. Not surprised in the slightest. It was a bad match. It was slow and boring, and I don't know if it's just because Undertaker's old. It had some good spots. Like there was a spear through the announce table, a choke slam onto an announce table. You know, it had its moments, but overall, it was a bad match. There was one spot that I think was supposed to be the finish, where and I can't even think of how it was supposed to be. But, well, first of all, Undertaker chokeslams Roman onto a chair and then does a tombstone pile driver onto the mat, and Roman kicks out. Totally disagree with that decision. You don't kick out of a tombstone. Like, I'd like to know how many people have actually kicked out of an Undertaker tombstone, or a Kane tombstone for that matter, but not each other. They've kicked out of their own tombstones. That's okay. They're allowed to do that. But Roman ended up in a position where they were like stomach to stomach, but down, and Roman needed to hoist Undertaker up in a position like he was going to do his own tombstone. But they were both so tired because Undertaker has to give oomph going up, and that takes a lot of abdominal strength. And so Undertaker's trying to kick his legs up while Roman's trying to lift him up, and they didn't get it. And Roman tried it one more time, and I can just imagine Undertaker, if not saying anything audible, like any tangible words, he at the very least let out a groan or a scream to Roman, letting him know, like, this isn't going to happen. Because Roman was going to try and force it to work. And thankfully he gave up on that. And so they fiddled around a little bit more. Roman speared him a few times. There was an awkward moment where, this is getting right toward the end, Undertaker tried to do his sit-up thing from laying down prone, and he couldn't do it. Now, I don't know if that was story-based or not. I'm sure that was planned, because that was a pretty sad moment. Almost like when back in the day when Hulk Hogan became Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and you knew he was a new character now because he faced Rowdy Roddy Piper at Starrcade, I think it was. And Rowdy got him into a sleeper hold. And they raised up Hulk Hogan's hand, and it dropped. 1. And they raised up Hulk Hogan's hand, and it dropped. 2. And then they raised it up a third time. And anyone who knows anything about Hulk Hogan knows that on that third time, Hulkster's going to get the power of the Hulkamaniacs on his side, and that hand's going to stay up. But this time at Starrcade, when he was Hollywood Hulk Hogan and he was a heel, suddenly he had lost the power of the Hulkamaniacs. And this iconic moment didn't happen. And so that's what happened here. The Undertaker was down, tried to do his arise like a dead man, and he couldn't do it. And your heart sinks because you know the end is nigh. But then Undertaker gets up, and Roman's just kind of like fiddling with him. And he ends up going and running into the ropes to get some steam to go do something to the Undertaker. But I don't know if Roman just didn't run into the ropes he was thinking, or if he thought if Roman thought that Undertaker was going to turn. But Roman runs to the ropes perpendicular to how the Undertaker's facing. And he comes back, and the Undertaker's still like this, and Roman's coming from this direction. And Roman just kind of does this awkward punch, like he stops all of his momentum and then punches him. And it was an awkward moment. You could tell something was up. So then Undertaker ends up on the ground, and you can see then Undertaker is saying something to Roman, and I'm sure it's I can't do the finisher. Like, I'm sure Roman was trying to set up the spot again, and Taker knows I don't have the strength to do it. And I feel bad for him. The problem is, throughout all of that, we were given a really crappy match. And I hate it when a pay-per-view is so good and then ends in this really, really bad match. I understand that Undertaker, it's time for him to retire, but surely Roman Reigns isn't the one to retire him. Like, back in the day, anyone but you, Roman, anyone but you. That's all I've felt for the last year. And he's a fine wrestler. He's just suffers from bad writing and bad delivery of lines, and he's just pushed too hard. Like, I don't care who it is. If you push someone down our throats so hard and we're not feeling it, Stop trying to ram it down our throats. Anyways, that's beside the point. I was not happy with the last match. Every other match was really good, except for the SmackDown women's match. That one was also lacking, which is a shame. Those were the last two matches. The SmackDown women's match that Naomi won, which they put at the end because they knew Naomi was going to win. So it was a good moment, but it was a bad match. Though, honestly, the worst matches of the night were the last two. And that's a shame. It should not be that way. Also, Mickie James came dressed out like a Native American. It was weird. I really didn't know what to think of that. I don't like her, and I don't know, that was weird.